Did you know the 1960s was a revolutionary decade for supercars, where bold engineering and breathtaking designs laid the foundation for modern automotive legends? This was the era when car makers experimented with cutting-edge technology, blending power, speed, and exclusivity into stunning creations. But while some became icons, others remained elusive, hidden gems that only a few have ever seen. Today, we'll unveil 12 of the rarest supercars from the 1960s, extraordinary machines that pushed the limits of performance but have been largely forgotten by time. Buckle up for a thrilling ride through automotive history. Number 1. Bizzarini 5300 GT Strada. The Bizzarini 5300 GT Strada wasn't just a car, it was a rolling temptation, designed to seduce, dominate, and leave you gasping for more. Born from ambition and rebellion, this was a machine sculpted by passion and powered by pure American aggression. Giotto Bizzarini, the fiery genius behind the Ferrari 250 GTO, walked away from Ferrari in a storm of bad blood. And what did he do? He built something hotter, wilder, and impossible to resist. The result? A grand tourer with curves that made men weak and power that made their hearts race. Underneath that sleek aluminum skin, a 5.4-liter Chevrolet V8 pulsed with 365 horsepower, an untamed beast aching to be unleashed. At just 2,400 pounds, this machine wasn't just fast, it was lightning in a bottle, able to hit 170 miles per hour with the kind of effortless thrust that sent shivers down your spine. The front mid-engine layout made it intoxicatingly well-balanced, gripping the road like a lover who refused to let go. Sleek, low, and aggressive, the 5300 GT Strada wasn't just built to go fast, it was built to be worshipped. That long, suggestive nose, the fast back rear, it had the kind of shape that made men stare and women blush. Inside, the experience was just as intimate. Leather bucket seats hugging you tight, a wood-rimmed steering wheel firm in your grip, and classic Italian dials teasing you to push harder. And yet, despite all its brilliance, only 133 were ever made, leaving it a forbidden pleasure, a fantasy car for those who could only dream of slipping inside. This wasn't just a hidden treasure, it was the one that got away. But what came next was a car born from the same rebellious spirit, a mid-engine supercar designed by Ferrari's exiled engineers. Meet the ATS 2500 GT, a car that dared to challenge Ferrari at its own game. Number 2. ATS 2500 GT. Born out of betrayal and ambition, the ATS 2500 GT was the world's first mid-engine V8 road car, setting the blueprint for modern supercars decades before they became the norm, but its story is as dramatic as its design. In the early 1960s, Ferrari was rocked by a massive internal mutiny, now known as the Palace Revolt. After a dispute with Enzo Ferrari, some of his top engineers, including Carlo Citti and Giotto Bizzarini, walked out. Determined to build a car that would dethrone Ferrari, they founded Automobili Turismo e-Sport, ATS, and their first creation was this bold and futuristic machine. The ATS 2500 GT was a masterpiece of engineering. Unlike most sports cars of the era, it featured a mid-mounted 2.5-liter V8, producing 220 horsepower, a radical layout at the time when front-engine Grand Tourers dominated. This lightweight coupe, weighing just 1,650 pounds, was capable of speeds over 150 miles per hour, making it a serious competitor to Ferrari's best. It featured a tubular steel chassis, independent suspension on all four wheels, and a beautifully sculpted aluminum body designed by Franco Scaglione, the man behind some of the most stunning Bertone creations. Despite its groundbreaking design, the ATS 2500 GT was doomed from the start. The company struggled financially, production was painfully slow, and only 12 units were ever built, making it one of the rarest supercars of the 1960s. Worse yet, ATS attempted to enter Formula One at the same time, stretching resources too thin. Their race cars failed miserably, and by 1965, the company collapsed. The ATS 2500 GT may have been a commercial failure, but its legacy lived on. Its mid-engine layout became the gold standard for supercars, later adopted by Lamborghini, Ferrari, and McLaren. Today, surviving examples are priceless collector's items, a reminder of the car that could have changed history if given a chance. But while ATS faded into obscurity, another car maker was about to rise, one that fused Swiss precision with raw American muscle. Meet the Monteverde High-Speed 375S, a rare and powerful Grand Tourer built for those who demanded both luxury and performance. Number 3. Monteverde High-Speed 375S. Switzerland is known for watches, chocolate, and precision engineering, but a supercar? That's exactly what Peter Monteverde set out to build in the late 1960s. A Swiss entrepreneur with a deep love for fast cars, Monteverde had spent years as a Ferrari dealer, selling Maranello's finest to an elite clientele. But after a falling out with Enzo Ferrari, he decided to create his own alternative, one that offered Ferrari-like performance with better reliability and exclusivity. That vision led to the Monteverde High-Speed 375S, a Swiss-made Grand Tourer that combined Italian styling with American muscle. Unlike Ferrari's delicate V12s, Monteverde turned to Chrysler's legendary 7.2-liter Hemi V8, an absolute beast of an engine that churned out 375 horsepower. With a top speed of 160 miles per hour, the 375S could go toe-to-toe with Ferrari's best, but with a twist. It was designed for effortless, high-speed cruising rather than razor-sharp track performance. The design was just as striking as its performance. Styled by Pietro Frua, the 375S had an imposing presence, with a long, muscular hood and refined, almost understated elegance. It looked less like a traditional Italian supercar and more like a high-performance Swiss watch on wheels, sophisticated, powerful, and crafted with precision. The interior was pure luxury, featuring hand-stitched leather, wood trim, and a refined cockpit designed for long-distance comfort. Monteverde wanted exclusivity, and he got it. Only 10 early 375S models were built, making it one of the rarest supercars of its time. Though later versions of the high-speed 375 series continued production into the 1970s, these early cars remain the most valuable and sought-after models. Monteverde never became a household name like Ferrari or Lamborghini, but the 375S proved that Switzerland could build a supercar just as bold and exciting as anything from Italy. Today, it stands as a hidden gem of the 1960s, a car that combined brute force with refined elegance in a way few others ever did. Number 4. Iso Grifo A3C. In the mid-1960s, a quiet rebellion was taking place in the Italian automotive world. While Ferrari and Lamborghini were battling for dominance with high-revving V12 engines and razor-sharp handling, one car dared to take a different approach. The Iso Grifo A3C was that outlier, a car that blended Italian design with raw American muscle, and in doing so, created one of the most brutal yet beautiful supercars of its time. The story of the A3C starts with Renzo Rivolta, an Italian industrialist best known for making refrigerators and microcars, like the famous Isetta bubble car. But Rivolta had a passion for speed, and in the early 1960s, he set his sights on building a proper high-performance Grand Tourer. He brought in some of the best minds in the business, including Giorgetto Giugiaro for design and Giotto Bizzarini for engineering, the latter fresh off his departure from Ferrari. What they created was a car that defied expectations. The A3C was powered by a 5.4-liter Chevrolet V8, producing 400 horsepower, a staggering amount for the 1960s. It was brutally fast, with a top speed of 170 miles per hour, and thanks to its lightweight, hand-riveted aluminum body, it was even quicker than many Ferraris of the era. But this car wasn't just about raw speed, it had an attitude. The A3C was built with a rearward weight bias, meaning most of its mass was placed over the back wheels for maximum traction. This made it incredibly stable at high speeds, but also a handful to control. It was a car that demanded respect from its driver, a true race car for the road. Despite its promise, the Iso Grifo A3C never reached mainstream success. A falling out between Revolta and Bizzarini led to production splitting into two separate models, the luxurious Isogrifo GL under Revolta and the more aggressive Bizzarini 5300 GT under Bizzarini's own brand. As a result, only around 20 of the original A3C models were ever built, making them some of the rarest and most valuable ISO models today. The Isogrifo A3C was a bold alternative to the traditional Italian supercar. It was louder, meaner, and more unpredictable. A car that didn't care about refinement or prestige, only about pure, unfiltered performance. In a world obsessed with Ferrari and Lamborghini, the A3C was the underground king, a machine built for those who wanted something different. But while the Isogrifo A3C proved that Italian muscle could rival Ferrari's best, another company was quietly shaping the future. De Tomaso wasn't about brute force, it was about innovation. Their next creation, the Vallelunga, would set the stage for an entirely new era of mid-engine supercars. Number 5. De Tomaso Vallelunga. Before De Tomaso became famous for the Pantera, there was the Vallelunga, a daring experiment that put the brand on the map. At a time when most Italian sports cars had front-engine layouts, Alejandro De Tomaso decided to go mid-engine, years before Ferrari and Lamborghini made it the norm. Powered by a 1.5-liter Ford Kent engine, the Vallelunga wasn't about brute force, producing just 104 horsepower, but its ultralight fiberglass body and advanced chassis made it incredibly agile, reaching speeds of over 130 miles per hour. Impressive for a car of its size. Designed by Carrozzeria Tesori, the Vallelunga had a low-slung, futuristic look, resembling a miniature race car for the streets. However, its fragile chassis and limited production, only 53 units were built, kept it from widespread success. Despite its short-lived run, the Vallelunga laid the foundation for De Tomaso's future supercars, proving that a mid-engine layout was the way forward. Today, it remains a rare and often overlooked pioneer of the 1960s supercar revolution. Number 6. Serenissima 308 Jet Competizione. Some supercars become legends, while others fade into obscurity. The Serenissima 308 Jet Competizione belongs to the latter, a rare, almost mythical machine that few have ever seen, let alone driven. Built by Count Giovanni Volpi, a wealthy aristocrat and former Ferrari backer, Serenissima was meant to rival Enzo Ferrari himself. After being blacklisted by Ferrari for funding the rebellious ATS team, Volpi decided to build his own race cars. The 308 Jet Competizione was his most ambitious project. It featured a 3.0-liter V8, producing 310 horsepower, housed in an ultralight aluminum body crafted by Carrozzeria Ghia. But what made it even more advanced was its wind-tunneled tested design, engineered to slice through the air with minimal resistance, improving both speed and stability at high velocities. This wasn't just for aesthetics. It gave the car a crucial edge in endurance racing, where aerodynamics could make or break a machine on long straights and high-speed corners. Despite its promise, the 308 Jet Competizione's racing career was short-lived. Production numbers remain a mystery, with most sources believing only 1 or 2 were ever built. Over time, the car quietly disappeared, swallowed by exclusivity and time. Today, it's a ghost of the 1960s racing scene, a glimpse into what could have been one of the greatest supercars of its era. Number 7. Cisitalia 202 Spider Mille Miglia. Long before Ferrari and Maserati dominated Italian motorsport, there was Cisitalia, a boutique car maker that built some of the most beautiful and innovative race cars of its time. The Cisitalia 202 Spider Mille Miglia was one of the rarest creations, a lightweight, open-top racer designed for the grueling Mille Miglia endurance race. Based on the legendary Cisitalia 202 Coupe, which revolutionized car design, the Spider Mille Miglia took things even further. Built for speed, it featured a 1.1-liter 4-cylinder engine, tuned to push out over 100 horsepower, a remarkable feat for such a small engine in the 1960s. Thanks to its streamlined, hand-formed aluminum body, it was both aerodynamically efficient and incredibly light. making it one of the fastest small displacement race cars of its era. With only a handful ever built, the Cheese Italia 202 Spider Mille Miglia became a unicorn in automotive history, its whereabouts known only to a select few collectors. Though the Cheese Italia brand faded away, its influence on sports car design remains undeniable, with the Spider Mille Miglia standing as a forgotten masterpiece of Italian racing heritage. Number 8. Ghia 450 SS. Some supercars are built for the racetrack, others for sheer luxury. The Ghia 450 SS was made for the elite. Designed by Italian styling house Ghia and powered by American muscle, this ultra-rare roadster was the best of both worlds. Under the hood, a 273 cubic inch Chrysler V8 produced 235 horsepower, offering smooth yet potent performance. A lightweight handcrafted body, sculpted by Giorgetto Giugiaro, gave it a timeless elegance, equal parts Italian sophistication, and Hollywood flash. Exclusivity was the key. The 450 SS was sold only to a select few, with its price tag ensuring that only the wealthiest enthusiasts could own one. Celebrity buyers included Peter Lawford, a member of Frank Sinatra's famous Rat Pack, but despite its allure, production ended after just 52 units, making it one of the rarest supercars of the decade. Today, the Ghia 450 SS remains a hidden gem, overshadowed by more famous names but cherished by those who recognize its rarity. A car not built for racing, but for turning heads, something it still does effortlessly. Number 9. Fossil Vega Fossil 2. While Italy had Ferrari and Britain had Aston Martin, France had Fossil Vega, a brand that mixed luxury and performance like no other. The Fossil 2, often called the fastest four-seater in the world, was the pinnacle of the company's craftsmanship. Under its sleek, handcrafted body was a 6.3-liter Chrysler V8, pushing out 355 horsepower. This gave it a top speed of 150 miles per hour, allowing it to rival Ferrari's Grand Tourers of the time. But unlike its Italian counterparts, the Fossil 2 was a luxury missile, featuring hand-stitched leather, polished wood, and an interior fit for royalty. Exclusive and expensive, the Fossil 2 attracted elite buyers, including Ava Gardner, Pablo Picasso, and even the Shah of Iran. Yet despite its brilliance, Fossil Vega struggled financially, producing only 180 units before shutting down in 1964. Today, the Fossil 2 remains a forgotten masterpiece, a blend of French artistry and American muscle, a grand tour with the soul of a supercar. Number 10. Lamborghini 350 GTS. When people think of Lamborghini's early days, the 350 GT comes to mind, the brand's first production car. But few know about its even rarer sibling, the 350 GTS, a convertible so exclusive that only two were ever built. Designed as an open-top version of the 350 GT, the GTS kept the same 3.5-liter V12, delivering 320 horsepower and a top speed of 155 miles per hour. It was a perfect blend of performance and elegance, featuring a sleek body by Touring and a luxurious leather-trimmed interior. Despite its beauty, Lamborghini scrapped the project, deciding against mass-producing convertibles at the time. The two prototypes vanished into private collections, making the 350 GTS one of the rarest Lamborghinis ever made. A glimpse of what could have been, the Lamborghini 350 GTS remains a ghost in the brand's history, a lost chapter in the evolution of one of the world's most iconic supercar makers. Number 11. Pegaso Z102. At a time when Ferrari and Jaguar dominated the European supercar scene, Spain's Pegaso Z102 emerged as an unexpected challenger. Built by the state-owned company Inasa, this machine wasn't just about luxury. It was a technological powerhouse that pushed the boundaries of performance. Powered by a supercharged 2.8-liter or 3.2-liter V8, the Z102 could reach speeds over 150 miles per hour, making it one of the fastest production cars of its time. Its advanced aluminum chassis, independent suspension, and lightweight body gave it razor-sharp handling, putting it on par with the best European exotics. Despite its brilliance, production remained painfully low due to its complexity and high cost. Some unique variants continued into the early 1960s, but fewer than 90 units were ever made, with even fewer surviving today. This extreme rarity has turned the Pegaso Z102 into one of the most coveted and valuable European supercars, a piece of Spanish automotive history that nearly vanished into obscurity. Number 12. Tornado Talisman. Some cars purr like a satisfied lover. Others scream like they can't take it anymore. The Tornado Talisman? Oh, it begged for it. This wasn't your typical gentleman's grand tourer. It was a filthy little tease. Lightweight, fast, and always up for some rough play. While Jaguar and Aston Martin were busy posing for the cameras, the Talisman was out there getting dirty, sliding sideways, and leaving nothing but tire marks and heavy breathing in its wake. With a fiberglass body so light it barely covered its assets, the British rocket knew how to move. The moment you laid hands on it, you could feel the tension, the kind of raw energy that made your pulse race and your grip tighten. Power came from a range of Ford engines, but in its most potent form, the Talisman could thrust harder than cars twice its price, delivering a power-to-weight ratio that made sure every ride was intense. The rear-wheel drive setup meant it was always on edge, teasing you, making you work for control, until you finally gave in and let it take you for the ride of your life. But like all irresistible flings, the Talisman wasn't built to stay. With fewer than 200 ever produced, it disappeared into the shadows. Its legend whispered among collectors like a scandalous secret. For those lucky enough to have handled one, it wasn't just a car. It was a wild, unforgettable affair that left them aching for just one more go. From forgotten legends to ultra-rare prototypes, these cars prove that the 1960s was an era of bold automotive experimentation. Which one amazed you the most? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more incredible classic car stories.